Afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Excited about this panel. Want to bring stage Nikki Ainsworth, Debbie Soon, Nicolette Rebelle, and Alex Dovgal. So, my name is Jay Rosenzweig. I'm CEO of Rosenzweig and Company. We help companies large and small design, build, and attract world-class teams. I'm the chair of the board of the Raoul Wallenberg Center for Human Rights, an international human rights organization. And I'm invested in and advise dozens of emerging growth, emerging tech companies across North America and around the world. And I'm really, really excited to talk about the intersection of Web3 and impact with this amazing group. And what I'll do is I'll turn it over to each of you. Maybe you can go in this order to give a brief introduction of yourselves, and then I'll ask some questions. Over to you, Nikki.
Right. Oh, mic is very much
It
on.
works.
Hi, so my name's Nikki. I work with the Flower Girls NFT project, which is a 10K collection of women with flowers on their heads. And a big part of what we do is charity, giving back to children's charities, and also supporting children. I'm going to stop now. I'm going to pass on to the next person.
Wonderful. Over to you, Debbie.
Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm the co-founder and chief growth officer of a company called Hug. Hug is essentially an inclusive social discovery platform that helps connect artists with collectors that love them. One big thing that we are focused on is also spotlighting and celebrating creators from all walks of life. So highlighting their backgrounds and making sure that they feel seen in a space that is especially noisy. On top of that, we also offer a bunch of education and advisory programs because we believe that education should be really accessible to any artist that is interested in Web3.
Thanks, Debbie. Over to you, Nicolette.
Hi, so my name is Nicolette, and I'm the creative advisor of Impact NFT Alliance. And on a personal level, I'm also a multidimensional artist, and I support sound healing, and I'm a sound meditation facilitator as well. So our company essentially finances and support Web3 projects that create a social impact on any effects that have like a positive impact on personal health, and as big as environmental impact as well. So thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Over to you, Alex.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to see people who cares about our planet. I wish we could have more people here. So, about myself, I was born in Ukraine. I moved to US when I was 20 years old, and I built a successful transportation company in Chicago, Dovgal Express, that was nominated as the best workplace in Chicago. I created a beautiful culture. It's a conscious business, and I'm all about creating conscious projects. And then I decided to do something bigger and inspire more people to do conscious businesses and find like-minded individuals. And I moved to California, and I started the project that is called Wise Castle. This is the community space for our community that is called Wise or Wise Tribe. And it's a group of conscious entrepreneurs, musicians, scientists, financiers, developers, people who cares, people who wants to make this world a better place, people who wants to grow together. And we started thinking about what we can create, and we came up with different solutions like Wise Logistics. This is the big project ecosystem of hardware, software solutions for the entire supply chain. We're leveraging AI, blockchain to improve this industry, so to reduce the damages of this industry to our beautiful planet. Then we are working on the project that EX3. This is the project where you can manage your community, you can create community events.
That's great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into all of that as we continue the discussion. That's great.
Yeah.
I also was in Ukraine this past year, a really meaningful trip, which I'm looking forward to speaking with you about after the panel.
Yeah, I'll be happy to.
Yeah, it was really a meaningful trip. Yeah.
Yeah, and a couple of last things. Also, we started Wise Planet, the nonprofit organization, and WISE stands for the World Initiative for Sustainable Earth.
Sounds great. Amazing. Well, we'll turn it over to you, Nikki. How does the Flower Girls project use NFTs for good?
So, the Flower Girls project, as I mentioned, has a real focus on charity. So, we give 20% of all our sales revenue to children's charities, which means that we've been able to donate over $600,000 so far to children's charities. So we've supported St. Jude's, Save the Children, we donated to Save the Children Ukraine, we've donated to the recent Turkey and Syria earthquake crisis. So yeah, we've been really able to, thanks to our community, make a difference in the world.
That's fantastic.
So we also, as well as that, give 5% to children's art, collecting children's artwork. So we're able to support the next generation of artists, creators, and innovators who are going to be the future of Web3.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to supporting. I'm happy that I met you.
Woo.
Yeah. Debbie, tell me a little bit more about Hug. I know it's a for-profit endeavor, but even as a for-profit endeavor, tell me how you're able to really create meaningful social impact with your project.
Yeah, so I would say that from day one, it's always been our mission at Hug to build inclusiveness, and how we really define that as a place where everyone can feel that they belong and be seen. A little bit about myself: I'm from Singapore, born and raised, moved here only a couple of years ago. So Singapore is the 18th smallest country in the world. For the longest time, never really had a platform, especially growing up, to really have any of my achievements or accomplishments noticed and recognized by the world. And for someone who is an artist, I believe that challenge is it's even more. And so for us, what we really wanted to do was to build a platform that really helped with discovery. A lot of artists with Web3 obviously have a lot more business opportunities, but at the same time, the challenges also increase, where they have to be their own marketing person. They have to, actually run a creative business. And so we really wanted to be able to build something that allowed artists to focus on what they love best, which is art. And through our platform, you be really intentional about how we highlight artists from different backgrounds, whether you're Black, Asian, have chronic illnesses, and just, really providing them a place to connect with people that want to support them.
That's fabulous. Well, I'm a very proud holder of some hugs, so it's great to have you on the panel. Nicolette, how do you measure impact and vet your members? And maybe tell us a little bit more about Impact NFT at the same time.
So for Impact NFT, we all know what impact is, and we all know what NFT is. But Impact NFT essentially is NFT for the goods. So, but how do you measure impact? So impact, we use this measurement set up by United Nations. So we have 17 SDGs. So then it stands for Sustainable Development Goals. It's subcategorized into 3 categories. The first is environment, as big as global warming, climate change, and on land, air, water, change in habitat, biodiversity, as small as health and wellness on an individual level. And a lot of Web3 projects and NFT concerns the effects, or the impacts in between the 2 goals as well, which is cultural, health, eradication of hunger, providence of medical care, and other social impacts like gender equality, etc., etc. So we're so excited to see how this measurement evolves, because there's also something called Impact Index that we're developing as well. So, yeah.
I'm excited to learn more about that. That's great. Alex, it seems like everything we're talking about is, in a sense, conscious entrepreneurship. And you've talked a little bit about your various projects related to WISE. What to you is a conscious entrepreneur?
To be a conscious entrepreneur is to be the person, the creator who thinks about how your product will make this world a better place. And you need to create the business with intention to improve things. It's not about, the money aspect should be kind of not first. Especially right now, we are as a humanity are facing so many challenges. We have big problems with deforestation, pollution, soil degradation, and I invite everyone to create projects and think how you can give back, how you can improve things, how you can restore biodiversity of ecosystems, how we can fix what we and our ancestors, the mess that we created. Yeah, so being a conscious entrepreneur, it means, yeah, care about the planet, about the community, and also promote healthy lifestyle in your company, inspire people, provide great atmosphere where people can grow, where people can support each other, where people are working as a family.
Fantastic. Well, talking about supporting one another as a population, Nikki, you really piqued my interest when you spoke about supporting children and supporting kids. Maybe you can elaborate even further about your work helping children.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we donate 5% of all our sales proceeds to buying children's artwork. So far, we have over 800 pieces of children's art from 42 different countries across the world. And that's a really wide range of children artists, starting from very young, 4 to 5, to a little bit older, sort of early teens. We actually have one of our young artists in the audience right here.
Hey, shout out.
Hey! This is Rainbow. Rainbow was in a fashion catwalk yesterday. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. But
yeah, we did.
With NFT LA, we were actually able to bring 3 of our young artists to this event to get a look into what the world of our NFTs and the culture is. So yeah, we collect children's artwork. We try and give a platform for young creators and make sure that they're supported. And yeah, we're just very much NFTs for good. Actually.
Shout out to the young artists. Amazing,
yes.
Amazing.
One of our young artists actually designed our pins that I have here.
Wow, that's
Maya,
beautiful.
she's 12 or 13 from
Amazing.
Korea. So if anyone does want a pin, come find me. I've got a bag full of swag, and it's supporting kids whilst we're doing it.
Fantastic. Debbie, why do you think art and NFTs are such powerful, vessels to really help us to drive important, positive social change?
Yeah, I think, through eternity, art has always been a real core part of culture. For the first time, NFTs really allow us to own a piece of that culture. And a lot of the times, we can get on a megaphone, we can, say, we can spew kind of what our visions are, but sometimes seeing it visually and other people's interpretation of that is much more powerful, makes the message much more powerful. So, for us, one of the things that we find so beautiful about NFTs and artists is really building that deep personal connection. We talk about bringing Rainbow here and being able to meet in person, but also collecting her art. If we do not have the good fortune of being in the same location at the same time, starting to forming this relationship and just, putting that spotlight on artists, regardless of whether you have a budget to do so or not. And so to me, that's what, NFTs are about.
Fantastic. Nicolette, you piqued my interest in your last comment, sort of about the future. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what we have in store, or what you have in store for the future of Impact NFT?
So ever since the explosion of FTX, we've got a lot of partners and investors reaching out to collaborate with us, because I think more and more people are concerned with the direct impact and direct link between utility and actual physical effects, because a lot of times it's easy to click a thing and say, oh, I'm offsetting my carbon footprint, but where is that money going to? So we're storing it directly. We're letting you choose the charities, the organizations with certified technologies, and we also have something called the dynamic NFT nowadays, where for one of our partners, WWF, Hong Kong Coral Station, we set up a dynamic NFT on the coral reefs. So then you record live process of the regeneration of coral reefs. You can see how the color changes for investors or supporters. It's just so gratifying to see like the effects of your money or your efforts or your support into our alliance, where
Absolutely.
Your support is going to. I think people are so concerned about how real this is.
Fantastic. Alex, you mentioned to me something about the future of contracting new cities. Could you tell me a little bit about that concept?
Yeah. Yes, this is something that I recently started started working on. I purchased the land in Panama on the island, and my intention and intention of our community, we are doing it collectively. So we want to create the new type of city, show the example of how to construct new cities on the blockchain, sustainable, autonomous, and where everything is structured better than in the current cities, you know, because I see current cities that we are living in is like old car, you know, it's a lot of inefficiency, and yeah, I see the future in building new cities from scratch where you can plan everything, and you will not have cars, you will not have even government and other things that you don't really need. And also the city is going to be like a piece of art. It's going to be beautiful in nice places in the world. I know many other people that are thinking the same way, and yeah, that's exciting.
Fantastic. Debbie, how can the Web3 community, you talked about this a little bit, do better in terms of supporting projects with social impact?
Yeah, you know, I feel like the space that we're in obviously is driven by a lot of hype and speculation a lot of the times, right? A lot of the times people are saying when Moon and when Lambo, but in reality, just like, you know, the rest of these amazing speakers on this panel, a lot of people are using Web3 for good and using Web3 to, you know, organize fundraisers, or, you know, even in our case, even if we're not, you know, a nonprofit, we're still really having a lens where we want to use Web3 and make the world a better place. So not just making Web3 a better place, but making that the environment that we live in better. And so, you know, I think Web3 as a whole, just like how companies, you know, kind of big corporate companies have ESG policies and are always looking at what they can do to, you know, have social impact, regardless of whether it is the core part of their business. I think as a whole, the Web3 ecosystem can look beyond the kind of the hype and obviously the near-term profits and really look at what this technology can do, because at the end of the day, Web3, the blockchain, all of this is just really the new evolution of the internet, and the idea of decentralization and ownership and being able to leverage these pillars to really affect real change is something that shouldn't be overlooked.
That's great. Here's an open question for any of you to answer. Each of you could, if you like. How can we bridge the gap between traditional nonprofits and the Web3 community?
I feel like being a part of good cause and making positive impact in this world is everyone's true purpose. So everyone, whether or not you're interested in NFT, would be interested in getting into philanthropy, for example. So I feel like in this sense, participating in nonprofit, whether as a collaborator or as a supporter or artist, is such a beautiful way to tap into the Web3 world.
Fantastic. Anyone else have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say infrastructure as well, and there are a lot of great companies out there like the Giving Block or Endowment that makes it really easy for nonprofits to accept crypto donations. And actually, Hug organized a community fundraiser as well last year, one for ending gun violence and another one for LGBTQ rights. And it was just a really, really seamless way for us to be able to do that, right? We had a bunch of artists contribute their art. We had our community activated to purchase that art, and we had this crypto, and we knew and we could see it on the blockchain that is funneled directly to the people in need.
That's great. I was wondering if any of you have faced challenges in terms of accepting crypto donations and things of that nature. Was that something that you faced challenges in terms of the acceptance of crypto and how that all works from a donations point of view, or has it been pretty seamless for each of you?
Well, we started also nonprofit that is called Wise Planet, and so far we are facing some challenges because not so many people knows how to use crypto.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
But of course we see that the growth of the users of the crypto is increasing,
Right.
like more and more. And I think in the future, that's going to be the great instrument for the whole humanity to use crypto and or NFTs to fund some projects and also do some actions immediately if we see some problem on the planet, so we can all act and fix it.
I do think once we have even more mass adoption, that this could be really revolutionary in a very positive way for millions and millions of people. So that's very encouraging. Wanted to ask each of you if you had any kind of parting words. I've really enjoyed this panel. We can open it up if there's time for any questions from the audience. Nikki, any further thoughts?
First of all, I just wanted to shout out Jack, who's in the audience here. He is one of our other young artist who has been able to come out to LA. So this is Jack Chupa.
Love that.
Young artist, one of our winners alongside
Welcome,
Rainbow.
Jack.
So woo, nice to see you, Jack.
Yeah.
And yeah, on that note, it's parting words wise, I think it's just about using NFTs for good, but for kind of, you know, just talking about things more and talking about things in a way that people understand, rather than trying to, like, you know, token gate knowledge. You know, 100%. We're not going to get mass adoption. We're not going to be able to, because a lot of charities don't take crypto donations. The Giving Block is a really good one for us. We just use that, but there are problems in donating charity-wise. But we're only going to overcome that if we talk about it more, and if we try and educate people rather than scare people off with technical language. And I think the more you talk about it, the more examples you have of NFTs for good, the more widely accepted they're going to become, and the less people are going to think they're a massive rug pull.
Amazing. Well, that's why we need to thank Edge of NFT for putting on these amazing events so that we could talk through all these issues. That's great. Debbie, any parting words?
Yeah, no, I second that. I think the majority of people still think that NFTs are just JPEGs of monkeys. And so the more that we can include in, you know, every one of us here, we're all stewards of Web3 and NFTs. We're all still early, not as early as we once were, but definitely still early. And so I always feel that we all have a responsibility to really kind of spread the good word about the power of Web3 and the power of blockchain technology and what it could do, and really framing NFTs in that context rather than, you know, silly monkey pictures. I would also say that we often think that social impact is something, or charity is something that you can do only if you have money or only if you have the means to do so. I always like to say there are countless ways that you can support organizations even without donating a single cent. And a lot of it just comes from amplification. And the same goes for supporting artists. A lot of people are just trying to get a good word out there. And so the more that we can do to really spread the word and be a megaphone on their behalf, the more impact and more change we're going to see.
Beautiful. Over to you, Nicolette.
Yeah, and I agree with Nikki about just keeping an open mind, and also Debbie, you mentioned about like helping not only in the financial aspect, and I completely agree with you as well. There are so many ways of spreading, amplifying the voices of organizations, and NFT is such a good tool to spread knowledge, spread arts. So it's all about intention and what energy you devote into these platforms. It's not really NFT itself that's the evil. So
fantastic. Alex, any parting words?
Yes, I want to say that it's interesting time in Web3. Yeah, I think it's like a third wave, or I mean, let's say new wave. That is really making me happy, because before we had like a bunch of fun projects in the space, then some scam projects that damage the industry, the reputation of the industry, and now we see more real projects that help the humanity, help the planet, projects that help the communities, and yeah, this is the new era that is coming. And I'm excited, and I want everyone to imagine the world where we have access as a humanity to free energy, where we have access to food and water free from toxins, where we have clean lands, oceans, rivers, and lakes, free from pollution, and where we live in harmony with each other, with animals and nature. And this is something that we can all build together and use the blockchain, Web3 for good. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone have any questions from the audience? We have like a minute or two left. Well, thank you. Thank you to this wonderful panel. Please give them a big round of applause for all the great work they're doing. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Let's take a picture.
All right, thanks everyone. Next panel starts at 12:10.